What's up, YouTube? Midwest Vintage Cars coming back at you with another video. So today I just kind of want to talk about the state of the hobby, I guess really slash business, and then just share kind of a personal anecdote from me and then show off some cards. So as many of you know, the hobby is, as some say, booming right now. And so much to the point where a lot of regular collectors like me and many of you are just really getting priced out. It can be pretty deflating, honestly, and I'm kind of going through that myself right now. So I was watching, I believe he released a video yesterday, Dan's Vintage Baseball PC, I believe is his channel's name. He was talking about how he had to change a lot of his goals this year because he's simply just, the market has just outpriced what he's willing to spend on cards. And I'm kind of in the same boat, which is very unfortunate because I'm a collector. I sell some cards sometimes to fund the hobby. I've never pocketed a dime from selling a card. I've never used card money to buy anything personal. It's all gone back to other cards. So I really don't care if my cards increase. Obviously, I don't want to lose, $10,000, $20,000 in 6 months on my cards, but truthfully, I don't really care. I would rather own the card. I've always said that if I could care less about for instance, T206 Honus Wagner, because of the price. I truthfully, I don't think I think it's a beautiful card, but I don't even really care about the card because of the price. If the card was mass produced like the other T206 cards and it was $1,000 card, I wouldn't like it any more than I like it now, if that makes sense. I really don't care about the price of cards. I really don't care that they go up, and truthfully, I wish they didn't go up as much. I've had about a bunch of cards in the past few years that have doubled in price, tripled in price, that I bought in 2023, 2024, even 2022, and that just doesn't fulfill me. I would rather just be able to buy more cards, right? And so I'm kind of at a point where, you know, I'm not struggling financially or anything like that, but at some point, a lot of cards that were obtainable to me 2 or 3 years ago are no longer obtainable right now, and that's unfortunate because it's cards that I really thought I had a high chance of getting one day. The main one that I'm thinking about is the 1955 Topps Roberto Clemente. This card 2 to 3 years ago in a PSA 2 or 3 was probably $1,200, $1,300, which to me, I could do that, right? Not every month, but I could do that. I could swing that. But now I see him selling for $3,000, and this happened over the past 6 to 9 months, and it's a little disheartening because that was a top goal of mine this year, and actually the 5 main cards that I wanted this year, I think I've shared before, but were the T206. I love T206. So the T206 of Cobb, which I knew would be possible. At least I thought it'd be possible. But now I know I'm not getting a T206 Cobb this year with how they've jumped. T206 Johnson and Young, which the action shot version of those are obviously not as coveted as the portrait, but even the action shot a year ago, you can get a nice 1.5 for $900 to $1,000, and now they're $2,000. And so, and I already talked about Clemente was on the list, and then the other one was the 48 Bowman Stan Musial, which actually hasn't jumped up too much, so I still have a shot at that, and that's a card that I'm definitely going to be looking for. But truthfully, when I ran the numbers at the beginning of this year, in the fall of last year, I thought I was going to be able to get 2 or 3 of those cards, and that's not going to happen. A lot of those have doubled in price. It's just not going to happen. So, I did just buy a house, so that doesn't help with anything. Another thing is, not to share too much about me, but I really don't mind if you guys, want to hear or don't care to listen. I think I've mentioned this before. Before summer of 2025, I lived in Europe for the last 4 years. And to be quite honest, I was making a lot more money when I lived there than I do here. And I didn't have that many expenses. So I was able to spend $500 to $1,000 a month on cards, and it didn't put a dent in my bank account. And that's after investments, that's after bills, that's after everything, that's after saving money. I don't say that to be braggadocious. That's simply, how my life was back then, and it's no longer like that. So pairing a reduction in salary and pairing in the insanity of the current vintage baseball card market, I'm just priced out on a lot of cards that I thought I'd be able to get. So, and I would venture to say that a lot of you are in the same boat that I am. Maybe not all the way, but I've seen a lot of people just saying they can't afford the hobby like they used to, and that's very sad to me because I'm in it to collect. I love the history of baseball. I love my cards. My collection spans from 1909 to 2009. I love baseball cards, and that being said, I'm not gonna lie, I do like some of the expensive and iconic ones. I like those too, and I used to be able to pick those up more frequently, but I really just can't anymore. And hopefully something changes. I'm not ready to quit on the hobby. I'm not ready to sell my collection. Even though I would be up way much more than what I've put into it. But truthfully, I could care less about that. So my message to you guys is, the hobby can still be cool without putting a dent in your wallet. I picked out 10 cards. I went kind of on a rant there, but I'm just, passionate about this stuff, and it definitely sucks to see what's happening. I'm glad that people are, making money and, growing the hobby, but it's hurting a lot of people like you and I. So it is what it is. But I just wanted to say that the hobby still can be fun on a budget. And today I'm going to show you guys 10 cards that I pulled out that I don't think I've ever showed any of them before, that are less than $100 each, or most of them are around that $100 range, that are really cool cards that you can still have fun in the hobby and still take care of your bills and investments and the whole nine. So like I said, I'm going to show 10 cards. I'll run through it really quick because I didn't expect this video to be this long, but that's okay. So the first card that I want to show is a 1952 Topps blackback Gil Hodges in a PSA 3. So like I said, these are all cards for $100 or less that you can add to your collection right now, and still build a beautiful collection with a lot of A-list, A-tier Hall of Famers, and still admire these beautiful arts of work, really. I got this 1953 Topps Bob Feller in a PSA 3. Next off, I got this 1954 Red Heart Dog Food Duke Schneider. I mean, these are really beautiful cards, and would make a great addition to anyone's collection. And I love these cards, and I love these cards just as much as my 33 Gehrig or my 54 Aaron or 54 Banks or whatever quote unquote expensive card you want to call it, that I have. I love these cards just as much, and they cost obviously a fraction of the price. 56 Grayback Eddie Matthews. I don't know why, I've just always admired this card and thought it was wonderful. I think this is my favorite Eddie Matthews card. Obviously an iconic card, 61 Topps Roger Maris. The season he hit 61 home runs and beat Babe Ruth's single season home run record. See, these are all great cards that I feel like, you can really have fun collecting while on a budget. Hall of Fame rookie card, 1961 Topps Ron Santo, SGC 4.5. one of the greatest third basemen of all time. 65 Topps Joe Morgan. He might be the greatest second baseman of all time. And PSA 4, beautiful example. This card costs $100. So there's a little thing on the protector, but. And I mean, Joe Morgan is a huge name in baseball history, and this is his rookie card for $100. So, 1970 Topps Ernie Banks and a PSA 6. I mean, this is a pretty good grade, great example of one of the greatest players of all time, and it's $100, probably less, $80. Probably the greatest player of all time, 1972 Topps, Willie Mays in action, sliding into home plate. I mean, that is a beautiful card for, I don't know, $60 in SGC 6. Amazing back. I mean, just a really cool card of the greatest player of all time. And then here's another Hall of Fame rookie card. 1974 Topps Dave Winfield in a PSA 6. One of the most underrated players, in my opinion. I feel like you don't hear him talked about enough as he should be. And, he was a great multi-sport athlete, baseball Hall of Famer. So, I know I ran a little long, guys. It's just, I'm a human too, and I love baseball cards, and I want to grow my collection. And it's a little defeating to see what's happening in the market right now. Like I said, I don't wish that anyone's collection plummets in value, but at the end of the day, when's enough? When is it gonna stop? So anyway, if you stayed around, thank you. I hope you enjoyed some of the cards I showed off. Just stay positive, guys. We'll get through this, and keep building your collection and have fun while doing it. Thank you.